Just make sure you talk directly into your microphone.
Directly into my microphone.
Yeah.
All right,
All
Avi
right.
is here.
So in the TLV1 studios today, we have Avi, Canadian Jewess and star of the web series Avi Does the Holy Land. We're so excited that she's here. We're going to ask her a few hard-hitting questions on current events and some softer-hitting ones on her upcoming second season. If you're not yet familiar with Avi, be sure to check out her YouTube channel. Hi, Avi. Thanks for coming. How are you?
Oh my God, I'm so good. Thank you so much for having me. This is amazing.
We're so happy to. So your first big episode was about Birthright. Tell us, how did those 10 days shape you?
Oh my God. So, Birthright was pretty much the most amazing 10 days of my life. And I think the moment that really captured what, kind of the impact that Birthright had on me as a person was they took us to a hill overlooking the old city. And it was Har Zaitim or Har Tzofim or one of the Hars. And our madrich put on the theme song to The Lion King, Simawena, Sawitumo. And it was just this is your land, Simba. And I'm oh my God, this is my land. So, and then it just kind of was that was the sort of pinnacle of the euphoria. And that really was kind of the essence of that just amazing, emotional, cultural, spiritual, physical journey that I went on.
Speaking of physical, making out with your birthright soldier, yay or nay?
Yay. Because as everybody knows, whenever a Jew from the diaspora makes out with an Israeli, a tiny Jewish angel gets its wings. But if you manage to make out with a soldier and your birthright soldier, I mean, that's double points. That's double mitzvah, I think they call that. It's like having sex on Shabbos. You know what I mean? Double mitzvah.
Totally know what you mean. And now that you've stayed in Israel, you've fallen in love, you've made it your home, how are you finding it?
It's tough. there's days when I'm I miss my Timmy Hose. I miss my Tim Hortons coffee. I miss polite people. But, to be close to the Jewish people, on a day-to-day basis, sometimes when I'm squeezed in one of those buses and you're smelling all those smells and people are yelling at you and it's hot and you're why am I here? These people are horrible, but you just remind yourself that this is the bus that Moses could have been on.
It's a spiritual moment.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Really I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Some might say calling left-wingers belly-aching leftist shitheads is too blunt. Why take such a frank approach?
Because they are. Anybody that criticizes Israel is a belly-aching leftist shithead, and they need to shut the H up. Because Israel is the most perfect country in the world, and anyone who disagrees with it is clearly an anti-Semite. It says that in the Bible. I think there's a part about stoning leftists in Ezekiel.
I've never studied that one.
Mm-hmm, yeah, it's there. So they deserve all of kind of the hatred that they're getting because you should not criticize Israel in any way. Really. Benjamin Netanyahu says it, Sarah Netanyahu says it, Richard Gere's the opposite. God says it.
Are you concerned that North American Jewry is becoming a bunch of belly-aching leftist shitheads?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a problem, okay? We just had, there was that election in America. And you had two choices, right? There was the woman and then there was Trump, okay? Mm-hmm. And we get it, right? He said some things against women. He said some things against minorities and all these things, but he supports Israel. So it's doesn't like Mexicans, supports Israel. Guys, it's a no-brainer. Jews, it's a no-brainer, okay? You need to vote for the guy that votes for Israel, even if that means that he's a misogynist, racist. You know what I mean?
Totally.
It's I don't understand why there was even a question in that. And it's offensive and sad and shows kind of the schism that's happening in the Jewish people in the diaspora. And it's scary.
That the majority of Jews voted against this person.
I don't know because I don't necessarily read facts all the time. But I think I got some sort of there was some information out there that was like, oh, I'm a progressive Jew. Like, how can, I want to support Israel, but like, I can't support a man who says I'm going to do these things to women. And it's like, come on, who hasn't said that in the locker room, right?
Totally. And it seems like it's a growing trend. Like, what are you going to do about this?
What am I personally going to do about this? Oh, I've started a web series that I'm trying to crush belly aching leftist shitheads so that they like go into a little ball and cry, and then they need to, like, okay, if you're a belly aching leftist shithead and you're like, how do I get back to the fold, and you've like tried giving
what fold?
The fold, like the Zionist fold, the mainstream Zionist fold, like most of the mainstream Jewish community supports Israel wholeheartedly, no matter what's going on. They, it doesn't matter what's going on, they're supporting Israel. So if you're somebody that's fallen off the wagon, if you've fallen off the Zionist wagon, I've got a very easy to follow step-by-step program. 1, stop what you're doing, go home and watch Exodus. Paul Newman was a sexy mofo back in the day. You need to watch Exodus, and you need to listen to all of the Maccabees songs on YouTube. And, Google some of Benjamin Netanyahu's early videos, early speeches where you really kind of see his persona coming out, and, slowly come back to your roots,
So you're drawing them in.
Draw them in.
That's the goal. Israel recently passed a law that blocks supporters of settlement boycotts from entering the country. Big deal. What's your advice to people that are concerned that this could affect them?
Well, it can affect them, and it should affect them, and they should think about the fact that they're supporting all these terrible things. And, if you're going to criticize Israel, Israel's going to criticize you. You know what I mean? Like, if you can't take what you've dished out yourself, don't dish it out yourself.
See.
You know what I mean? I think it also says that in the Bible. So, be afraid. Be very afraid. And I'm hoping that mechanism, that's a policy that Israel put in place to get North American Jews to shut the H up and just start rolling if you're going to donate to something, don't donate to the, lefty, capo-y New Israel Fund, which is supporting, human rights. What is that? You need to funnel your dollars into something like JNF, which gladly supports Judah and Samaria, which we're all about. So you need to do stuff like that.
It seems like everybody is so confused about this, but you really have a
plan.
Oh,
it's black and white. It's, everything is clear. There's right and there's wrong. There's black and there's right. There's pro-Israel, there's against Israel. There's lefty Jews, and there's the good people.
Amazing. You've discussed the topic of DFTH. Don't forget the Holocaust. American Jews are experiencing a wave of anti-Semitism. Should they all just move here?
That's a toughie, because I think some of them have to stay in America to run the Hollywood studios. So they should stay. But if you're not kind of, running a Hollywood studio, or like, I don't know, what else do Jews do? There's some important doctors there, some important lawyers. The Maccabees. You know what? I want the Maccabees over here. Guys, Yoftel Shmokowitz. When can we go on a date in Jeru? Please call me. But everybody else, yeah, you know what? Come here. This is the home for you. Especially if you're going to vote right wing and vote Likud, because we definitely want you in that case. We only want right wing supporters.
Avi, the most viral video in Israel right now is of an Arab-Israeli teacher using catchy songs to teach her students Hebrew. Arabic is the language spoken by 20% of Israel's population. Have you made any effort to see that side of the country at all?
20% of the population speak Arabic?
No, it's a big number.
Oh my God, I thought it was like just French in Canada, which is like just on cereal boxes and then everybody forgets about it. Have I gone into Arab side?
Yeah.
Into Arab
stuff?
No. Hello, like, I'm like literally a prize for Hamas. They see me and they're like, ding, 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 ding. And everybody knows that when you go into an Arab village, I think a siren goes off and then Hamas comes and kidnaps you.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, that's what happens. So no, I don't go there because it's scary. And people that speak another language, it's scary. And I think Jews should continue, Benjamin Netanyahu said it himself. What did he say with the last election? Everybody needs to show up because the Arabs are voting on buses. They're coming by buses. So I'm just following the exact rhetoric that is said by the leaders of this country. I'm literally verbatim quoting them. And they're pretty anti, last time I checked, they're pretty anti-Arab. So I'm just going to stick with that line because that seems to be working for them and their democracy.
That siren thing, that sounds really frightening. You once asked an asylum seeker living in Tel Aviv if he'd be willing to cut off part of his penis. Many of these people are fleeing South Sudan, which the UN recently declared was under threat of widespread famine, right? Should Israel be giving basic rights to people fleeing war and poverty?
That's tough. Everybody should watch my video on that because I really asked the hard questions about that. Yeah. I think if people are willing to cut off a part of their penis to come here, that's devotion. And, I mean, nobody wants to get tickled by a non-kosher pickle, if you know what I mean. So, if they're willing to do that and sort of accept the values of this place, then I think Israel should, I think they should let them in. Because, is Drake not the hottest thing ever? So with all of these Sudanese and Eritreans coming here, I'm thinking there would be some Drake babies coming up.
Oh, yeah. Your show has delighted so many people, and you've also left some scrunching their eyebrows a little bit, if you know what I'm saying. What are we in for in your second season?
Well, I can't give too much away, but let's just say bigger, better, faster, stronger. There's going to be more car chases, more hot guys, more guns, more getting really into questions, more hummus fights. It's going to be like, think the opening scene from Mad Max, but instead of that dude tied to the car, there's Barbra Streisand, and I'm Barbra Streisand, and I'm tied to the car, and I'm singing Hatikva remixed by the Maccabees. That's what we're going to see.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Final question.
Mm-hmm.
Who is your favorite pro-Israel hunk?
Ooh, tough one. Dead or alive?
Let's do
alive. Okay, I'm really into Russians right now, so I'm going to go with a Avigdor Lieberman. Oh, did you guys see his Purim costume? Hot. I like them bare. I like them big and, bulky.
Avi, what were you for Purim?
I was Vashti. Because I think she got a bad rap. And I think, I have been asked to show up naked at parties. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no. And I didn't get my queendom denied. I think she had a right to say to Achashverosh, no, I will not go naked. And so I really appreciate the kind of feminism that the Bible projects.